Hello journaling friends, welcome to my quiet and cozy little space. Today I decided I'm going to do a flip through of May in my Hobonichi Cousin. Looking back through my pages, I feel like May was such a blur. I think if I didn't have my journal to flip through and read the little bits and pieces of what I got up to, I feel like I wouldn't really remember much of what happened. I don't know, May just felt like it flew by way too quickly. If you saw my last flip through of April, you would have noticed that I had a couple of spreads left undecorated, or completely blank rather. However, for May, I managed to fill every page. Not that it really matters, I don't mind having blank pages throughout my journal, although I am now planning on cutting pages whereby I don't really have anything to write on or any memories that I want to pop down, and I'm going to use the pages to create a little traveler's notebook card size insert, as was suggested by my pen pal Zoe. Anyway, let's get started. So the front of my journal I don't think has changed since my last flip through. I don't know if I had just popped these stickers down since then. Little Mormin stickers, Mormin and Little My. So apart from that, not much has changed, or nothing's changed here actually. Same for the cover. Pop down a little sticker that I got from Zoe that they picked up in Japan and kindly, generously shared with me. Nothing has changed here, I don't think. And then we will go onto the monthly spread. Oh yeah, that's May. Pretty much doing the same thing that I've been doing for the other months for this year so far. Sticking down pages from my daily desk calendar. Whenever I receive mail from my pen pals, I'll pop down something that they included in the happy mail on the day, just as a little reminder. This came from my pen pal Julia, so the stamp from their envelope and then a little drawing of Julia's. She's so clever. Embrace the cold. I'll try. I'm still trying, guys. Really sunny day, obviously. That was me just playing around with some watercolor pencils. I didn't actually put water to that, but I was just playing around with the different shades of blue in the packet. Obviously we had a sunny day here and a rainy day here, which is pretty normal for this time of year. Some ephemera from Japan. Got a really cool email on this day. Watched a fight with my favourite UFC fighter, Jack Della Maddalena, on that day. And yeah, just trying to get in some little doodles now. Soup. I've been loving the soups at the moment. Cat naps with my cat Roger. And that's pretty much it for May in a nutshell. I really love this Moomin Mama sticker because this kind of really, I guess, represents me at the moment. Just really embracing the cooler weather and yeah, getting stuck into doing things around the house a lot more than I usually do when it's warmer. When it's warm and sunny, I want to be outside as much as possible. So yeah, there's more time to be doing stuff at home at the moment. So that's the monthly pages, and then we'll go on to the weeklies. My weekly pages are pretty much a mishmash of ephemera, some little memes that I've screenshot, usually from Instagram, a little bit of memory keeping, sticking down of stationery, just yeah, a little bit of everything really. It's really just a space for me to create a bit of colour, I guess. So again, I've got some little pages from my daily calendar and my other one here, because I have two of those little desk calendars that I picked up in Japan. This was something that got my attention on Instagram, a really sweet little comment, and the person wrote, "This whole account reminds me of my childhood and it makes me so happy." I thought that was so sweet, just made my heart swell. I guess in a way journaling reminds me of my childhood as well, just tapping into that kind of playful, carefree kind of feeling, I guess, that, you know, I used to feel as a child or a teenager even. A Mormin calendar sticker. In a room full of people, I'd look for you so we can leave. That's definitely me at a party or a gathering. being introverted means as much as I also am sociable and I love to be around people, I also reach a point where I'm done and I'm just ready to be on my own again. So yeah, that's definitely something that stood out to me when I saw it on Instagram. Copied a little drawing that I saw on Instagram somewhere. I think it was in someone's journal. It may have been a sticker. I wish I had have actually taken a screenshot of it now. Anyway, I wrote here, why am I always so nervous to try drawing? I mean, I couldn't draw that on my own, like off the top of my head, but copying someone else's illustration, I can do. So I'm not claiming that that's mine. It's definitely not. I got my sleep back. Yes, I love my sleep. And the last year or so, it's been a little bit not as solid as it has been for my entire life. So when I have a solid sleep and I'm not waking up several times in the middle of the night, I am so very grateful. So yeah, had to make a note of that just to remind myself those nights do exist. Also, it just started raining. Can you hear that? And there's also a plane flying by. Went and had roast dinner at my bestie's house. Oh, this was super cute. Sheldrick Trust. I'm pretty sure I've posted or stuck rather screenshots that I've printed of theirs from their Instagram account into my journal before. So basically, they rescued a little hippo, a tiny hippo. They've named him Bumpy. And I just love the way the person who writes these captions, I'm pretty sure it's Angela Sheldrick of Sheldrick Trust, I think. I just find the captions very articulate and really heartwarming, actually. She's a very good storyteller. So the caption says, meet Bumpy. This enchanting little chap was rescued over the weekend. His mother likely died defending him in a territorial fight. And when the Kenya Wildlife Service found him, he was huddled beside her body. Oh my gosh. They rescued him and placed him in our care. This was Bumpy's first night with us. Snuggled next to keeper Simon, Simon put his mattress on the ground and the tiny hippo nestled by his side, swaddled in his cherry blanket. So whenever they have elephants, pretty much any of the animals that they take into their care, when they're babies, they have this little red blanket on them. And I don't know if that's until a certain age or size, but I have seen a lot of the baby elephants with these blankets on as well. After his fraught ordeal, he finally felt at peace and slept soundly in the crook of Simon's arm. How beautiful is her writing? So yeah, do you want to have a close look at Bumpy? Look at him with his little blankie and his keeper. Imagine that job. Dream job. So I've watched You've Got Mail again. I've seen it multiple times and it's been on repeat pretty much since I've come across it again on Netflix. And I just really liked this little line where the main character is talking to her boyfriend slash ex-boyfriend, where she says, he asks her if she has anyone else, like another potential love interest. And she says no, but there is the dream of someone else. And I just really liked that little line. Cat naps with Roger. Every afternoon, Roger curls up on the couch. I have the blinds and the curtains open in my lounge room and the sun just streams in after lunch pretty much the whole afternoon. And he always perches himself on the couch. And sometimes I curl up next to him and have a bit of a nap. Not often, but sometimes. Went to the library on that day and actually did work from the library. Some ephemera from some milky lollies that Zoe shared with me. Might I suggest we go outside and chase down a bit of joy? Yes, I suggest we do that. Oh, I really like this. People without any whimsy scare me. Why are you like that? Where are your trinkets? Just playing around with some acrylic markers there. Little bits and pieces sent by my pen pals. Am I addicted to peanut butter? I really seriously am. The amount of jars that I go through of peanut butter in a week is mind-blowing. Lots of editing at this point. Getting my weddings from April edited and delivered to my couples. I made my bestie's chicken soup. That's now become a regular on my weekly rotation of dishes. Just some packaging from an olive oil bottle. Oh, there's another line from you've got mail. You are daring to imagine that you can have a different life. Also lovely. This week I was at my desk a lot, doing a lot of work. I try and kind of space work out, I guess. You know, as in I'll spend 2 or 3 days at my desk and then take a day off or an afternoon off and have a bit of a break from staring at my screen for too long. But I do remember this week I was pretty much at my desk the whole week. And it was fine because I do find that I get very motivated, I think, once I'm in that super productive mindset, which means I get work done and then I get time to do all of my hobbies. So yeah, I also don't usually have a lot of, I don't even know if I've got any black and white pages in my journal yet for this year. Well, I do here. So I don't know. I just felt like writing everything in black ink. Oh, I took a visit to IKEA here and yeah, just work again, sticking in. Oh, let's not mind it. I don't mind doing work. I'm happy doing work. I do love my job, so that helps. Got some mail from my pen pal Julia from Spain. She sent me this delightful drawing that she had done with watercolour, and I mentioned that I really loved it, and she made it into a postcard and sent it to me. I have now since framed it and it's on my wall in my lounge room. And this is also from Julia. She's very creative. I remember this day, I actually wrote this in here because I had the perfect cup of coffee. Does that ever happen to you where you just take that first sip and you're like, I have just mastered my perfect cup of coffee? It doesn't happen every morning, but yeah, this particular day, I don't know, it was just the right temperature, the right milk to coffee ratio. It was delightful. My uncle is visiting his hometown and he's been sending me messages and photos of his visit, so that's really fun for me. Finally, journal day. So yeah, again, because I was like pretty busy. I mean, obviously I took a trip to IKEA, which would have been maybe 2 hours of my day. I always do my IKEA trips. Not that I go to IKEA often, but I have lately. I've been buying little bits and pieces for my abode. I always go midweek and in the middle of the day so as not to get stuck in peak hour traffic. And I'm not going to IKEA on a weekend with everybody else. And that's also another, I guess, luxury of working from home. Taiwan Travelogue, a book I was reading at this point. That's it for my weekly pages for May. And then we'll go on to my daily pages. Oh, that's the end of April. On this day, I got some really exciting news. I'll blur it out because it's not something I'm willing to share just yet. But I wrote here, what a way to start the month. Today was a good day. There was a chill in the air. It was the first night of putting the heater on. So good news, and also talking about the weather. And on this side, I've got a printable from Susanna V. Bryant, which make a regular appearance in my journal. I absolutely love their work. And up here it says, quiet guardian of your words. Which I guess my journal is that. Oh, I bought a new iPhone and got a new case from Casetify. Actually, I bought the same case that I had on my last phone. Sadly, my old case didn't fit on my new phone, but that's fine. I bought the exact same case from Casetify. And that's just the packaging, obviously, that I did not want to throw out. So on this particular night, I had family come over and we watched a UFC fight on TV. And so on this day, late night last night, and then I'm just talking about that I slept in until 8:45. Yay. I woke up very refreshed to a beautiful sunny day and not cold. Good mood. I've talked about this before, but the weather definitely affects my mood. It's just the way I am. These days, I think this was this the week that I was working a lot? Let me just check, because I was looking at this earlier. And I have a feeling, where's my weekly days? Weekly pages. Oh, no, it wasn't. No. Okay, well, anyway, for whatever reason, I didn't go into my journal at all for these days. And you know earlier how I was saying I was going to start cutting my pages out? I actually had the idea to just cut them in half. As I mentioned, Zoe had then suggested I could use the spare bits of the pages to create my own card size little insert. So yeah, I've been cutting the pages out when I don't have anything to pop down, and I was just going to use these little half pages that I leave in for swatching and other bits and pieces. But anyway, obviously didn't have much going on these days, or I didn't document anything that I had wanted to put in my journal. So I just one night on the couch was doodling with my little, what are these called? The little micron pens. So yeah, I was just doodling with those pretty much just to fill up these little pages. I could have just cut the entire pages out, but as my pen pal Laura said, by leaving these in, I'm not completely removing these days from history, which kind of is pretty cool, I think. So yeah, trying to draw straight lines. I cannot draw a straight line for the life of me. So anyway, that's another thing that I have been practicing in my journal is drawing lines, drawing tiny little circles, and I'm even at the moment practicing writing because my handwriting is so messy and it's all over the place. So I'm trying to write neater. I think that just comes with time after, spending so many years just typing all the time. This is a quote from Good Will Hunting. I saw this on Instagram and I just thought it was pretty cool. It's a bit of their script. I think this is Robin Williams' character. I can't remember the character's name. But the bit I liked from here was we get to choose who we're going to let into our weird little worlds. I love that. We do get to choose. Choose carefully. Sunday roast at my bestie's house. I just wrote here that I got a message from my bestie during the week asking, do I want to come over for Sunday roast? Say less. And as always, the roast was absolutely delightful and the company was heartwarming. We end up always just sitting on the couch and just gas bagging for hours. I think it's me doing a lot of the talking. I have to remind myself sometimes to stop talking and let other people share stuff because I'm obviously very interested in what other people have to say, but I am just very chatty and I get caught up in telling long-winded stories, I think, which is fine. I love coffee, in case you didn't know. Oh, I had this thought actually. At night time, just before I go to bed, I make sure my coffee cup's clean and the little filter compartment thingo from my coffee machine, I make sure that's clean. And as I'm doing that, I get a little bit excited. I am definitely a night owl. I don't go to bed early, but when it's bedtime, whatever time that might be, I have this little spring in my step, and it's from knowing that in the morning when I get up, I get to enjoy my morning coffee. It's such a simple thing, but it just brings me so much joy. So yeah, here I was just writing about that feeling of getting my coffee paraphernalia ready for the morning. Just brings me so much joy in the evening, in the nighttime before I'm about to go to bed. I also wrote here that it's not just about knowing the joy I've got to look forward to in the morning. It's also knowing that my morning coffee is my one constant. It's guaranteed stability and consistency. And this is something I really need with the uncertainty that comes with perimenopause. I know I've spoken about that before, and I'm not going to go into detail because it is really boring. But it's about the inconsistency that one feels and the loss of control that one feels by having hormones just doing whatever the heck they want. If you know, you know. Again, I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, I wrote here that I realise that the symmetry and routine of my morning coffee fulfills my desire for certainty. My coffee has my back. So yeah, just a little, what do you call it? Reflection, I guess. Another day of Roger curled up on the couch. He's so cute. Look at him. Could not be any cuter. Roger's not a very affectionate cat. He's not very big on cuddles. I do sneak cuddles with him. But when he's asleep like that, I can actually rub his belly. If you were to try and rub his belly when he's fully awake, you would 100% get swiped. Feels like spring. I remember this day, it was actually warm at 22 degrees. So sunny, so happy. Again, I just love when it's sunny. On this day, I actually decided to go to the library and work from there. So I took my laptop and I was culling a wedding. It was the right environment to get really productive. Like I know I have worked from cafes and the library before, but it was just a reminder that sometimes getting away from my desk at home is necessary. By sitting in the library, then it's a really good way to avoid the old procrastination temptations, such as, oh, I'll just go and put a load of washing on, or actually, let's just sit on the couch for 10 minutes and scroll on my phone, and then an hour goes by, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with having a break, but also it's easy to waste time when I want to be doing work. So yeah, I'm more inclined to want to be productive, for so many hours of the day, get all my work done and then chill out and reward myself with some fun stuff. So yeah, by sitting in the library, I got to do that because I think I sat there for maybe 4 or 5 hours and just solid work the whole time I was there. So that was good. It was very productive. Didn't really have much to write here. Obviously, lazy day, cozy, rainy day. Oh, that's right. I remember this day. I was literally just pottering around the house. And I saw this and I thought it was very apt for the mood of the day. I simply refuse to underestimate the power of a peaceful home. So true. Nothing to write here. So just stuck those little pages down. Oh, I got a recipe from my bestie of this chicken soup that she makes, leek chicken soup. I had attempted to make some chicken soup, I think the week before, and my soup was not tasty at all. It was very watery, just not great. So I was telling Susan about it and she said, do you want my recipe? And it's actually I think it was a 90s cookbook from the 90s, I think it was, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I took a photo of it and then I've since then tweaked it a little bit and I add some other things in of my own. But the trick is to get the soup really creamy without using cream is putting in a can of creamed corn. So that is now something I make almost weekly. On this day, I was supposed to meet up with some industry friends who I used to share a studio with. There's a group of us that used to work together and we catch up every so often for coffee or a meal and chinwags, because at weddings we don't always get to chat. We might see each other. Actually, the photographers won't see each other because there'll only ever be one photographer per wedding. So it's nice to just catch up and actually sit down and be able to have a chat. I mean, we have a text chat where we talk about, what books we're reading and what we're up to and whatnot, but it's really nice to sit down. Anyway, on this particular day, I got ready, got into my car, and my car wouldn't start. So I called RAC because I have roadside assistance and messaged the girls to say, yeah, I'm not going to make it because RAC generally take over an hour or so. So I went back inside, called RAC, and then just got comfy at my desk and journaled all day instead. RAC did come and I did need a new battery, which was fine. But yeah, I wrote here, I would have loved to have caught up with the girls, but I didn't hate the alternative either. And I had dinner at my bestie's house as well. So there's a little photo of my desk with all my journaling stuff out. How fun is journaling? You can see that's actually, I've got a light on there, so that is well into the night. Usually once I sit down at my desk during the day, it means I'm going to be there till probably midnight or thereabouts. Oh, I woke up to a stamp rally on my Animal Crossing island, which was super cute. So yeah, ran around the museum collecting stamps as if I was in Japan. And I don't go to the museum a lot. I mean, I go there purely to go to Brewster's and get a coffee in the morning, like me in real life. And on this particular day, because I was running around collecting the stamps at the different locations, I spotted 2 of my villagers walking around and looking at things, which was kind of cute. I don't think I've seen a villager in the museum before, but then come to think of it, I don't know if I've ever really walked around the museum lately. Maybe like when it was first set up, not frequently anyway. And then here I was just writing about how I was sitting at a traffic light and I saw this man with a trolley waiting to cross the road, and on top of the trolley was a cat. I think I talked about this in another video. It was the day I decided I was going to get the TN card size, because I went after seeing this person with the trolley with the cat sitting on top at the traffic lights. It was such a cute sight. I went and had lunch, Japanese, and as I was sitting there, I was typing into the notes app on my phone what I had seen to later, write it into my journal. And at that point, I realized that I need a little notebook to carry around with me. So that was the moment that I decided I was going to try and order a TN card size, and I did manage to find one. So yeah, and then that's just me writing what I had typed into my phone while I was sitting at the restaurant. I have questions. So I noticed recently, and I don't know if I've always done this, but I've really, just noticed that I do it recently, that I have a lot of questions about life. Like I find myself assessing my emotions and actions constantly, not in a judgy way. It's just like I'm doing something and then I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of something now, but it's like I'll be doing something and I'll think, have I always done this way? Like there's just always little questions in my mind, and also needing answers. So I'm constantly Googling things, looking for answers just to these questions that pop up in my mind. They're not heavy, it's nothing serious. It's just, kind of like frivolous, constant questions. So when I realized that I have a lot of questions, I could hear myself judging myself for doing this, for being curious. And then this post popped up by this, I guess they're a life coach. They talk a lot about growth and how to achieve forward progress in life. And this post popped up by this person whereby they talk about studying your life for forward progress and growth. And then it reaffirmed for me that it's fine for me to be questioning and wanting to understand how and why things work. So it was really cool that that post popped up, because I was like, hang on, why am I judging this? It's fine. There's nothing wrong with me having questions. So I was just writing about that on the day that I saw the post. Another little revelation, I guess. So in a way, I kind of answered, this post answered my question of why do I have a lot of questions? I wrote this with my Kakuno fountain pen. Oh, okay, I remember this. What a glorious day. The sun is shining on my brisk morning walk. All the crunchy autumn leaves are scattered on the ground. I had 8 solid hours sleep. As we know, that's important for me. And I, for the first time in a while, feel like myself again. Roger was super affectionate with me this morning, following me around as I opened all the blinds. He even welcomed, or tolerated, a cuddle, which was lovely. I had my 10 minutes outside in the sun before brewing my coffee. It was so lovely to feel the sun on my face after waking up feeling so good. Life is good. Just one of those really lovely days where everything just felt like it was working out beautifully for me. And then a little sketch of Roger. That's literally how he always sits, with his little paws curled up like that, which is obviously a common cat position. These are stickers that I peeled off an envelope that a previous bride of mine, not my bride, a bride I photographed their wedding, delivered a book. Hang on, I'll show you the book. A snail mail book. How cool is this? So Kayla dropped this off on my doorstep one afternoon, and the envelope was covered in stickers. And obviously I wasn't going to throw the envelope out, but at the same time I thought I could reuse the stickers. So I tried to peel off as many as I could so I could put them on a page. So that's almost all of the stickers. There were more. And then the snail mail book, because Kayla knows that I'm into snail mail, is this adorable little book on different techniques of, handwriting, envelope ideas, craft ideas. Oh, it's so cute. I am still yet to fully dive into this, but how cool is it? So some of my pen pals will be benefiting from this, I hope. But yeah, it was really generous of Kayla to share this with me. So I didn't want to throw the stickers out. Went to IKEA with my mum on this day. We had lunch in IKEA, which I can't say I've ever sat there before and eaten, maybe once. I have had lunch at IKEA in Finland before with my cousins. But yeah, that was fun. I love the little IKEA illustrations of the instructions that come whenever you buy something flat pack. This was me just playing around with my little watercolour sticks, which I got from Japan. I love these things. I've been using them quite a lot in my journal now. I did do an unboxing and swatching of those in my most recent video, I think, or maybe 1 or 2 videos ago. So that was just me playing with the sticks with adding some water to them. I love how that turned out actually. Looks like a little face there. Here I was just writing about a chatty day with lovely humans. So I had a long video chat with Zoe. We have these video chats every couple of months or so, pretty much just talking about journaling and life. And then later in the day I caught up with a previous couple of mine. I photographed their wedding and we had a family photo shoot and I got to meet their darling little dog named Sky. So that was really lovely to catch up with them as well. And then they were heading off to Japan a few days later, which I was so excited for them. And then on this day I met another couple who have also since become friends. This happens a lot with my couples, by the way. And this couple were in town from Tasmania and they wanted to do a photo shoot with their darling baby boy. So we did it all on film, which was so fun. I haven't done a photo shoot all on film before. I always shoot digital and I will add in film sometimes, but this was just on my film camera. So that was a lot of fun. And their sister was there, who I also know very well. We've caught up for dinner and whatnot, you know, a couple of times after the wedding. So that was a really wholesome afternoon, just lots of laughs and cuddles with baby. This is all the packaging from Moku Bungu, which is where I bought my TN card size from. So as always, I just didn't want to throw away or file away any of the packaging from the actual TN because, you know, it's too cute to throw away or just shove in a drawer. So I thought I would stick it all in my journal. And a little handwritten thank you card from Faye at Moku Bungu. So again, didn't want to stash that into a drawer. And yeah, just little bits of washi tape that came on the packaging as well. I really love how this spread turned out. I mean, obviously all the packaging and stationery just works together, but yeah, I love how that turned out. Bit of an ode to autumn. Might I suggest that we notice the grounding power in our simple daily rituals? This is literally what I'm about at the moment. Just embracing the cold weather by noticing the grounding power in my simple daily rituals. That's it. Just seeing the small moments and feeling gratitude for those moments despite the weather or in spite of the weather. I never know if it's despite or in spite of it. Anyway, you know what I mean. So yeah, just a bit of an ode to autumn here. There's Rogie. He doesn't look anything like that, but that's fine. Oh, there's Rogie. So again, reflecting over here after doing this page on my lovely little rituals. I love coffee. This was the day that my coffee just hit really well. The perfect temp, perfect coffee milk ratio, and tasted perfect. That first sip was bliss. It was. Lots of gratitude for that morning coffee. It's also what the morning coffee embodies for me, and that is just a really nice, quiet, peaceful start to my day. Taking a midday nap alongside your cat is so special. Like, yes, please show me your culture. I wrote here that I don't know why I always resist taking a daytime nap. I think Roger knows what's what. On the few occasions that I indulge in some Arvo Zs, I absolutely love it. So yeah, I did have a little nap with him a couple of days during the month. I think on this day because I can see my blanket on my legs. So yeah, it's too nice not to. The sun's streaming in. It's nice and warm because obviously the sun coming in makes the whole lounge area quite warm. This is just a page from my 2025 Moomin calendar. I obviously am not throwing that out and I do use the pages for decoration. And I'm also going to, I think, make some envelopes from them because they're going to be the perfect size, I think, to make little envelopes for my pen pals. So I might use that book from Kayla and the pages from the Moomin calendar to make some envelopes. Nothing exciting to write down on this day. I just took a photo of my desk when I was journaling the whole day, which is a Sunday ritual for me. I really try to be at my desk on a Sunday or even on the couch doing some journaling, but you can see I've got all of my markers, pens, Kita tape, everything is out. And yeah, I was just doing some journaling. So I wrote here, stormy day, stormy inside day in my journal all day. I was going to do some swatching up here with some brush pens that I bought, but I changed my mind. So I ended up just creating this mess. And that is it. Yes, that's the end of May, and then we go on to June, which I'll obviously cover this in my next flip through. So that is it. Which is my favourite spread for May? Oh yeah, I should do that actually. Pick my favourite spread for each month. Oh, do you know what? I really love this spread. But I know it's a junk spread, which is fine because, you know, I can do whatever I like with my pages in my journal. Okay, so that's definitely my favourite junk spread. And then my favourite memory keeping spread. Oh, that's really hard. No, I can't decide. Because all of the memories are delightful. But judging on how I've decorated the memory keeping spreads, oh, I can't decide. I actually can't decide. Yep. So that's it. I don't think I have anything else to share. That goes into, the other thing was that I had started a produce sticker spread at the suggestion, or I was inspired by Laura, my pen pal, and that's how she's coming along. My pen pal Katy sent this in a letter to me, and I just thought it was super cute for my produce spread, being an apple, and also I noticed the produce sticker there. So Katy lives in Spain, so I don't know if that's from Spain. Anyway, I just thought that really looked cute there. So that's how my produce spread is coming along. I mean, this is obviously from my peanut butter addiction and not produce, but that's okay. Food labels. So that's that. May in my Hobonichi Cousin, thank you so much for stopping by and for hanging out with me for this flip through. It was really nice actually just looking back from day to day and just seeing the little things that I get up to. It's a lot of cozy little daily rituals at home, which of course I love. But yeah, I think they're little moments that would be easily forgotten without the memories written in my journal. So I do love my journal for that. I think maybe for my next video, I might do a mid-year Techo Cousin. So show my Hobonichi Cousin and my Hobonichi Weeks, which is my planner, and my Traveler's Notebook regular size, which I use for various things, and also my new Traveler's Notebook card size, which isn't actually a journal, it's my everyday wallet, but I might still do a little flip through to show you how that's going. So I think that might be coming up next, maybe. I've got a couple of videos actually to edit. I've been thinking it might be nice to get a video up every week, and I'm hoping to do that on a Monday night, but if not every week, every other week anyway, which is pretty much what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, hope to see you at the next video. And also, if you want to say hello in the comments, as always, I would welcome that. And I reply to every single comment, so I'd love to have a chat with you if you feel like sharing something about your journal or anything else for that matter. Anything journaling, stationery, cozy life related. All right, I'm going to end this now. Thank you again for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.